Howdy doody, everybody. It's the most meaningful time of the year. Not wonderful, because half the time this isn't wonderful. But yeah, it comes to the time when we do our final top 8 predictions before we roll into the big one in a few weeks, where we go through all. I'm double checking. I think it is. Yeah, it's still 23. They haven't added any in the last 3 weeks. Thank God. So yeah, welcome to the final 2023 predictions, the final video of 2023, officially. I am your MC, I guess, for the evening. Whether I host, I don't know. I'm just doing the intro. Ashley, joining me as ever is Owen.
Hello, Internet.
And AJ.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about, so we should probably get started as immediately as possible.
Yeah. I need to delete the prediction start out so then I can keep an eye on that when we get round to it. But yeah, I'm trying to work out where I'm guessing we start with the shortlists.
No,
yeah. Go ahead.
I want to make I'll make a judgment call on this one. It feels like it's something we should discuss, but I don't think it's necessary now because we're not going through all of the categories unless there is a pertinent reason why we would be using the short list to decipher why we're doing what we're doing, which I know in some cases that's the case, but in most cases it's not. So I would say we'll save that for next month when we actually go through all the categories.
Yeah, because we'll probably just go through them as we predict those categories next month, is what I would say.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised that Barbie didn't get as much nods as I thought it may have done, but
you can run down Spencer's comments in chat real quick before we start off.
Yeah, Spencer says, hey guys, I really enjoyed Sound of Metal. I think that's actually airing on TV over here next week. So looking forward to catch up with that again. Really love Minari. Hated Mank. Hated I'm thinking of ending things. And Minari or Sound of Metal should have got Best Picture last year. Well, not last year. A couple of years back.
I wouldn't have had a problem with Sound of Metal 1.
I would have picked Promising Young Woman, The Father, and Judas and the Black Messiah all over it, but I still wouldn't have been mad about it.
And Roy rightfully says 6 hours left on the eastern coast. Until it be 2024. Yeah, I guess the only notable thing, at least to mention in terms of the award stuff, because I'll probably forget by the time we get to the Globes predictions, is that they've officially got an actual host for it next week. And it's Joe Coy. I'm not sure who that is.
He's a stand-up comic. He had that movie Easter Sunday last year that nobody saw because for some reason stand-up comedians think their stand-up can transfer to movies and it doesn't. I don't know.
And I don't think they've revealed who's getting the honorary awards at the Globes, have they?
I don't remember.
Let me double check. Oh.
Brian says we now know what 2 categories that Barbie won't be getting on Oscar nomination morning, plus one of the 3 songs from the film that can't get in his original song.
Oh,
I think we know which one's getting used. But...
Yes.
Oh, the Globes has got another scandal on.
Sorry, Sean.
We'll bring up that scandal when we get to the actual nomination predictions, because that sounds juicy. So, but yeah, no senior segments. Or sorry, no lifetime achievement stuff yet announced. So, where should we roll first?
I need to start with a preface.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's all good, I think we can go right into it after that.
No problem.
Yes.
Actually, I think I want you to put the timestamp of the version start right here because I want this to be heard.
Okay, hang on. Predictions start at 7 minutes and 30 seconds. So,
Okay.
let's roll with it.
As the song says, listen, all you motherfuckers.
Thank God we're
This-
7 minutes in.
this year is wild. This is the part where I have to, and like I said, I want this to be heard. I want people to skip past this because skipping past this is how idiots happen. I don't want to sound like I'm on my high horse either, but whatever. This year is so insane, and I basically feel like this is the part where I have to yell at the people, the invisible people that I can imagine talking, because we've done this so many times. So there's going to be people every single year that are probably doing this for the first or second time with a lot of confidence that is completely unearned, saying, this will absolutely happen, this will absolutely never happen, and anybody that says this will happen or this won't happen is an idiot because of this thing or that thing. We need to start, the first thing we need to acknowledge is that no guild nominations are out yet, as far as I know. We don't have SAG. We don't have any of the guilds like DGA or WG or anything like that, or PGA. We don't have BAFTA. This is all the stuff that's really important and will be really telling. If I'm gonna say something and you're gonna tell me that person would never happen because they didn't get Clover Critics' Choice, you're very, very new at this.
I was going to say,
And secondly,
even in the other tech categories, I don't think we're getting our first guild reveal until I think the 4th. So we're legit like going in as blind as we can, at least at the minute.
Yeah, I wrote all the dates on my new calendar and I've already forgotten them, but they're there. When I put it up tonight, it'll be there. But so the other thing is, even if you have been doing this for a little while, there'll still be those cases probably where somebody might say something's in or something's out, and you immediately jump on with, no, that absolutely won't happen or whatever. If you've been doing this long enough, you know that it's such a fucking rookie mistake to have confidence in anything. Oscar nominations morning is fucking insane every single year. Every single fucking year, Oscar nominations morning is crazy. There's, like, you could say, my go-to example always is Lakeith Stanfield. Imagine anybody, you have to imagine because it didn't fucking happen. Imagine there was one person the night before Oscar nominations saying, I think Lakeith Stanfield's getting in supporting actor. He would have been laughed out of the fucking room. He would have been laughed out of the fucking room saying that Lakeith Stanfield was getting in. He would have been even more laughed out of the room saying he would have been in supporting. When number one, Daniel Kaluuya was already in there as the front runner, and secondly, when he was the clear fucking lead of the movie. Nobody would have bought that. He even campaigned in leading. Nobody would have believed anybody that said that. And you can say Andrea Riseborough last year. Because of the weird campaign tactics, I can't imagine people doing a no guts, no glory, fuck it, I'm going to say Andrea Riseborough gets in. That's believable. What's not believable is if somebody were to claim to do that while also claiming Viola Davis and Danielle Deadweiler would miss, and Andrea Riseborough would still make it. Laughed out of the room that person would have been. So what I'm trying to say is nobody knows shit, including you. So we just have to go for it. Like I said, we're completely blind to SAG and BAFTA. Somebody here could say somebody now that's nowhere to be found and seems insane. They could get SAG and BAFTA in the coming weeks, and they're here, just like that. And even if somebody doesn't get SAG or BAFTA, there's always that person that has nothing going in. There's at least one person that's like, where the fuck did they come from? I can't stress this enough, every single year this happens. And that doesn't seem to get through to a lot of people.
Not just in the acting categories either. We always seem to have the one outlier in either adapted or original screenplay as well. That sort of comes in from out of nowhere.
Yes. So, worst person in the world. Who the fuck said that? Nobody said that. And I remember. I don't remember anybody ever saying that.
I do like the touch. So, I want to jump into chat here because I think it's interesting. So Bry says we now know what 2 categories won't be getting.
I said that.
Okay. The BAFTA long list is coming up Friday. Parsnip asks who you think will be biggest snub and surprise on Oscar nominations. Remember last year it was Riseborough. Also, glad I'm here to hear AJ. Bry also noted we do only have PGA for documentary, but there's quite a few omissions from that PGA list and vice versa. So,
I don't know about you. I don't know about the two of you, but that question of who do you think will be the biggest snub and who do you think will be the biggest surprise, for me, that will be answered as we go.
That's why I'm getting to it, because Parsnip says you've got the long list, but we'll do that later to the time. Not even the news media knows shit, says Bry. But then Parsnip, I just saw it as you were saying everything that you said, and Parsnip said, "So this is AJ making a bold prediction, right? With all this build-up, this is why he wanted it This is why he wanted it time-stamped to make sure the."
There might be a few, including snubs. Very, very, very perceptive.
Parsnip with the note on the head.
But also, I also just feel like in general that never gets through to people, and they always forget. So just in general as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we're starting now, I have to say another thing, because I made a big change here that I was very much against right here in adapted screenplay at the very beginning. And I've been saying all year, this is adapted, like, there's no way this is not the adapted screenplay lineup. There's no way. But it was a chain reaction. I made one change, and then another change happened because of that change, and then something happens because of that change, and then it becomes this whole thing, and suddenly it's like, oh shit, I've completely changed everything. Basically, a lot of the things I said as recently as the Critics' Choice video are null and void now. And that video was, what, 4 or 5 days ago? Yeah, nothing. We haven't even had a new set of nominations, and mine are completely shuffled now. Mine are basically unrecognizable to me, except for a couple of categories. So, okay. To start off with adapted screenplay, I think some bullshit is in fact going to happen. Some fucking category fraud ass bullshit is going to happen. So, because of that, I have removed Barbie from adapted screenplay and put it where it doesn't belong.
Yeah.
Because I added one. So I have American Fiction, Kills of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and in that empty spot I put The Zone of Interest. Because for some reason I know why actually. The Zone of Interest moved into my head and set up shop. And I will explain that further as we go. So that's what I did with adapted screenplay. And if it changes from that, I'll be fucking amazed. Once again, not saying anything was definite, just saying I will be surprised. That's all I'm saying. I'm open to being surprised.
That's fair.
There may be a reason why I hinted that something from out of nowhere gets in a screenplay category. Because mine are pretty similar. I also have American Fiction, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. Spider-Verse has moved out. And at least in terms of the top 8, My only nomination as it stands for All of Us Strangers. That is my number 5.
That's where I thought you were going.
Yeah. I think we seem to be getting to a gist of like the screenplays that are getting momentum are beginning to sort of pull up. And I'm happy with at least that list for now. We'll see how it changes. I don't even know whether the long list could influence it with the BAFTAs this week, but
if I didn't completely reposition on the Zone of Interest, All of Us Strangers would have been my next push here.
Yeah, I mean, Zone of Interest has always been hovering around, so I can see that making it in, depending whether it gets traction over the next few weeks. Briefly looking at chat.
Cover chat, and then I'll do mine.
Parsnip says, I like it when there's crazy nominees and crazy snubs. I like to see people get upset all about it. Bry's adapted is American Fiction, Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I'm still waiting for the Academy's confirmation. That's of course the ballsy thing, because everybody else might put it in original, but the Oscars might go, no, you're adapted. So that will be...
It's what we say it every time. It's what happened to Moonlight. That's exactly what happened to Moonlight.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mr. Top Hat says, we live in a world where Glass Onion's inadapted for the very reason that Barbie should be, but isn't.
Yeah.
Josie says, hey guys, sorry I'm late. Good to see you. Good to see everybody.
Welcome back.
Bry also says, if Barbie's confirmed original, Bry will replace it with All of Us Strangers. Josie said, a fabulous Christmas. Had a lot of Christmas short stories, particularly from a treasury of Afro-American Christmas stories. Top Hat's list is Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Zone of Interest, and American Fiction. Josie says, haven't seen Poor Things yet. Sadly, my brother was sick, so we'll wait until this upcoming week when he's better. Parsnip has Zone of Interest, American Fiction, Poor Things, Oppenheimer, and Killers of the Flower Moon. There's a consensus here. I feel all alone on All of Us Strangers hill.
So, as I mention every single time, because I'm proving my point that none of us are looking at each other's predictions. In the previous years, if you've been around for long enough that we've done this, you would know that sometimes I look for a little bit of advice from time to time. I don't necessarily reveal my hand. I just kind of be like, well, does this make any sense? Maybe. Let's see what we go with. So I didn't know AJ's predictions. Didn't know Ashley's predictions. Didn't know the chat's predictions, of course. And I was on Ashley's list for the longest time because, yes, we're going to get a lot of category fraud this year, and I had to move Barbie out of adapted. So I had to put something else in its place. And All of Us Strangers was the thing that jumped into my head that should be there. For a second, I was really on the fact this is a surprise nomination for Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Which is not out of the realm either. Not even close. Especially if Rachel McAdams get that 5th slot in supporting actress. Which is not out either. But that's getting ahead of myself. The movie that I'm going with is, let's just cut out the middleman and say that it's the exact same lineup that AJ has. American Fiction, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest.
Far out.
I'm very comfortable with that lineup right now, at least. Real quick, Josie script dictions, All of Us Strangers, American Fiction, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things. Zone of Interest very well squeezed in, and I'd love for a nod for Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. I love that movie. Yes, we know, Josie.
That's gone up.
We appreciate you enjoying
that. Could
that
move in. That could move in.
Yeah, because a double shot. So let's say it gets like a below the line tech nomination out of nowhere, and then it can get McAdams in and get in screenplay. I could see it happening. We don't know. All right, original.
Original got pretty boring pretty fast.
Yeah.
Which sometimes does happen. Sometimes categories just get real fucking boring. And the thing that sucks about this is originals usually where things get really, there's usually like, whoa, that's inspired. Where the hell did that come from? Like we were talking about Saltburn being here or something, would have been awesome.
Yes.
But I think original screenplay is going to be real boring. So I have Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Maestro, and Past Lives. Now, obviously, I love the fact that Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, and Past Lives are doing well here. Barbie could be here in the wrong category.
Yes.
And the industry. If people are only looking at like awards nominations and stuff like that, or looking at other people's predictions or something like that, they are not seeing the way the industry people are talking about Maestro. Maestro is at the very, if you listen to any fucking buddy talk in the industry, Maestro, there's no way Maestro is not a top 5 movie right now. And I don't know how many people are aware of that. I know Cooper's been consistent and director with the stuff we've gotten so far, but I don't know if people really realize how the industry has reacted to Maestro. And that's before we've even seen any guild nominations, just through them talking publicly about it. They are going absolutely insane. Like I said, I saw an interview with Gary Owen where he detoured the conversation to bring up Maestro. Emily Blunt was asked to her SAG thing, what movies has she seen that made her like regain faith in cinema, and without even hesitating she said Maestro. And this has been continuous since the movie has been seen by industry people. That's just like the tip of the iceberg of people going fucking nuts for this. Michael Mann was asking Bradley Cooper questions at the Los Angeles Times roundtable. Michael fuck Mann was like, "Hey Bradley Cooper, how'd you do that?"
Was the script that bad for Ferrari?
And by the way, it's not like the script for Maestro is great, but A Star Is Born still got in adapted, despite being the 4th fucking version of A Star Is Born. I feel like Maestro is going to be one of those boring entrances into original screenplay. I mean, it's not poorly written at all. And it makes a lot more sense when you hear Cooper say it was supposed to be a movie about marriage more than like a biopic. So the fact that he took it from that stance, I could see where praise from the script would come in. But that's, yeah, it's not like, oh, whoa, it wouldn't be as exciting as something like Saltburn making it or something. So, yeah, that's what I have here.
I've done a fair bit of a change. Ironclaw and Saltburn move out because until I have more confidence in Ironclaw actually apparently having been seen, I think that's going to get ignored apart from BAFTAs. I really hope it shows up in the long list to at least poke people. So, sort of going at least the way of AJ for a film that I haven't really put in here and is now showing up. I have Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, May December, and Past Lives. So yeah, the foreign ones. Well, Past Lives, I guess, foreign in quotation marks. And I think I think May December is probably a good chance of making it in, as it stands with all the interest that's been getting. Maestro could easily show up. I don't know what I'd kick out. Possibly Past Lives, I don't know. But yeah, again, we sort of have 6 or 7 circling, but more looking locks than others. To the chat. Josie also said first time watches since the last Face Off. Face Off. I was like generally Face Off. The Big Bad Fox and Other Tales, The Man Who Came to Dinner, Metropolitan, Blast of Silence, and Placido. Is that about Placido Domingo? I don't know.
That makes sense. It's the only name I think of that name.
Bry for original has Anatomy of a Fall, Holdovers, Iron Claw, Maestro, and Past Lives. If Barbie is confirmed original, then it will replace Iron Claw. Parsnip has Barbie, May, December, Holdovers, Past Lives, and Anatomy of a Fall. Would love a Saltburn upset. Josie says, by the way, I saw Iron Claw yesterday, was excellent. The ensemble was phenomenal. Efron gives his best performance yet. I also love Jeremy Allen White. Very impressed
Yeah,
with
we're gonna talk about the Iron Claw a little bit in this video.
Very impressed with Sean Durkin's filmmaking too. Top Hat's list is Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, Holdovers, Maestro, and Past Lives. Josie has the original script dictions of Anatomy of a Fall, Fallen Leaves, the Holdovers, May, December, and Past Lives. Bryce says I took May, December out because I remember what AJ said, it might be a FU to the industry if I remember on what you said.
It's a pretty unflattering look at actors specifically, and I guess the sort of predatory nature of making movies about certain people. So I don't know how that's gonna I mean, you could say, oh, the Academy will embrace stuff like ignorantly, like how they embrace Eat the Rich movies like Triangle Without, like that's kind of you guys. But like this is specifically the movie industry that looks very unflattering. So I'm not sure how that'll go over.
Bry also says Maestro getting original would just be similar to when it was 1917 that got the love a few years back, showing how much they love it.
Yeah.
Josie adds, wish Asteroid City could get into original screenplay. It's so thought-provoking on a metaphysical level about the nature of existence. Parsnip says all the Star is Born films were popular with the Academy, so it's just the story. Josie randomly putting Evanescence has been on the radio a lot lately. Wake me up. Parsnip said I like May December a lot, as did Josie. Placido is a Spanish Christmas film. Parsnip says Iron Claw is not that critically sound. I've seen several reviews, particularly from.
We're gonna talk about the Iron Claw, okay?
Particularly from a couple of people, and I always trust their opinions.
So, original screenplay, I had to make 2 switches that I'm not happy about making, but that's just how it is. So I had to bump out the Iron Claw, which I hate to say at this point, because any loves that it gets, I'm going to be super happy about. And I had to bump out Saltburn, because everything is just like it's not the fact that the movie is so wacky, it's the fact that it's just it have to be a surprise at this point, because it really feels like this group is pretty locked without saying it's officially locked, because it feels very safe, which means it might be extremely dangerous too. So my lineup for best original screenplay is Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Maestro, and Past Lives. May December was the last cut I made. I thought about doing May December and Anatomy of a Fall. I originally, back when we started this in August, had May December in my picture lineup. I slowly took it out of there and moved Anatomy of a Fall into the spot that it probably would have. So it's kind of like column A, column B, and not judging a movie I have seen versus a movie that I haven't. I just feel that at this point, especially with visibility, that Anatomy of a Fall is going to be one that's going to be sticking around, and May December does not need a screenplay lineup to become in the question race here. So I'm going to keep this 5 the way it is until I have to change it.
I might have done something fucking nuts here. Okay. Supporting actress, as usual, is a real pain in the ass.
Yes, very much so.
I mean, props to all these actresses getting all these great parts. It makes predicting a bitch. Okay, so I don't even know how to preface what I'm about to say. Okay, I will say, when I say this, you're gonna think, that's that just doesn't really happen. That's just kind of I don't. We have seen it. What I'm about to say is a phenomenon we have seen happen many times. I feel like it happened quite a bit in the 90s. And one particular case, if not more, comes to mind for the 2000s. We've seen this phenomenon as recently as 2019, and it almost happened again the very next year in 2020, almost. So keep that in mind. I don't remember who the hell. I did a swing for the fences last time. I said Leslie Uggams for American Fiction. American Fiction is out. I haven't really seen the overwhelmingness I was expecting as far as that particular performance. So I was like, maybe I'll go somewhere else and take another swing for the fences, because I feel like a swing for the fences is going to be what it takes to fill in supporting actress, because for some reason I refused to go with Jodie Foster. my mind kept going back to Jodie Foster. I was like, no, I'm not doing it.
Don't let her
Leave me
in.
alone. No. So I was like, okay, what can I do with this fucking spot? Because I don't have the confidence to go back to Taraji either. So what do we do? So I went, okay, if I'm going to go in on something, I might as well go just a little tiny bit further. I might as well go one step and go for it. So with all that build up now, Emily Blunt, please. Danielle Brooks for The Color Purple. Sandra Hüller for The Zone of Interest. And then Julianne Moore for May December and Yvonne Joy Randolph for The Holdovers.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the getting nominated twice in the same year. We just saw recently with Scarlett Johansson. But I do feel like Scarlett Johansson was the first person in a while to do it. Was she the last one before Blanchett in 2007? Was there one in between there? And then Boseman almost did it in 2020 with Da 5 Bloods on top of Ma Rainey. Almost. So it's not often that happens. But that's... I don't even know how else to really back it up. It's just kind of a feeling thing. And I don't know if it was seeing her at the round table talk about both movies and how enraptured the other actresses seemed with her. But like I said, having another space open and me already moving towards the zone of interest, it just kind of felt like it fell into place. It also may be a bit of desperation because I was trying so hard to stay away from Jodie Foster for a reason I can't even really... I don't know why. I don't know if it's the Mauritanian still in my head, where it's like Jodie Foster can win a Globe and they could still say fuck you. And for a movie that nobody really cares about, at least from what I've seen. So yeah, so I just went the Sandra Hüller route, and it was like, let's see if she can do the Scarlett Johansson thing. Let's try it out. Because it's usually... Pacino was an instance where he did it and won one of them, but I'm pretty sure a lot of the time it's typical they don't win either one when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like Pacino's the only one off the top of my head that won, but I can't. I'm sure there might be another one, but off the top of my head, I can't go through the entire of Oscar history right away.
In that respect, I guess I'm going the semi-safe route because my list.
Because I know how bad listeners people are. I was implying there that Sandra Hüller would not win either one. I am not counting on that at all. By the way, just to make that clear.
For supporting actress, I have Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks for Color Purple, Jodie Foster for Nyad, Julianne Moore for May December, and Yvonne Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. I'm not sure whether we are going to get sort of, a film get 2 nominations. There's a chance. We'll see how it... Because, of course, Color Purple really doesn't have anything going for it. Honestly, it depends on how well it does at SAG. Because I'll be intrigued how much it shows up in terms of BAFTA. Because I don't know. Well, yes, people have seen it. It's just, the release over here is like middle to late January, so it's like 3 weeks away. So it's in the sticks, somewhere over there. But yeah, that's my 5. Parsnip says Saltburn's too extreme and dirty for Academy voters, but most of Hollywood is doing or has done some of the things in Saltburn. What were you gonna say, AJ?
If Jodie Foster gets in, it would be kind of cool to see both Clarissa's in supporting actress. So there's that.
Didn't think of that. Yeah. Thinking of favourite original screenplays for first-time watches, Josie said Antonio's Line, Metropolitan, Minium, Moskowitz, Eve's Bayou, May, from 2002, The Faculty, Passport to Pimlico, and Rolling Thunder. Bry supporting actress list is Blunt, Brooks, America Ferrera, Rosamund Pike, and Divine Joy Randolph. Parsnips is Divine Joy Randolph, Emily Blunt, Danielle Brooks, Julianne Moore, and Sandra Huller.
Oh, wow.
Oh, right. Josie's doing a list of... I'll touch on that another point, Josie. Josie's supporting actress script diction. What? Actor dictions? I can't say... It's not script. Juliette Binoche, Emily Blunt, Claire Foy, Sandra Huller, Rachel McAdams, Julianne Moore, and Divine Joy Randolph. Because Josie has all the stuff covered.
What's Binoche in?
Oh, the French one.
Well, I figured that.
No, I can't remember the name of it. Quick, tell. Only because I was looking up Bhutan because Monk guy, Yak guy's in. The Taste of Things.
Okay.
No.
France's entry. So Josie said we've adapted Night of the Hunter, Hester Street, Fearless from '93, Bringing Out the Dead, Life and Death of Colonel Blimp, Clear Cut, Ken Russell's The Devils, The Man Who Came to Dinner, and Wonder Boys. Debbie Morgan and Diane Carroll from Eve's Bayou will definitely be in my supporting actress lineup for this season's first-time watchers. Oh, Mr. Top Hat said you mispronounced Dunkachino. Damn
I'm gonna follow him for the rest of his legacy.
Yep. As well as Vanessa Redgrave and the Devils, and Jessica Lange and Juliette Lewis and Cape Fear. Top Hat has Blunt, Brooks, Foster, Moore, and Randolph. Brian says you got to remember SAG loves diversity, especially on ensemble. I could see Color Purple making it in that for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if Owen was going to bring this up or not, but we were kind of having a conversation recently where I'm not predicting her to go all the way, but the industry loves her enough that I wouldn't be surprised if SAG puts Penelope Cruz in here.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the things that's been getting generally overall praise about that film. Some people are very on the fence about Driver.
Ferrari is an absolute fucking snooze fest, but Cruz's scenes are alive.
Yeah,
and because the rest of the movie is such a snooze fest, you can tell when the movie's alive, and it's when it's during the Cruz scenes.
Good soup. Josie says, with the hand that rocks the cradle, should I fraud Rebecca De Mornay into supporting or have them both be leads?
De Mornay's a lead on that. I'm pretty sure.
And Josie also says, regarding original screenplays as well, Josie wants to acknowledge that Trick or Treat screenplay.
That's good. I like that.
And yeah, Josie clarifies it's Taste of Things. That was the... I'm going down the rabbit hole of Yak Man, who I guess is now not Dalai Lama Man as well. Anyway, Owen, Your
plausible
swing.
deniability. What the hell are you talking about? Let's go.
The one of the ones on the short list is the guy that did Luana Yak in the Classroom. His next film is Bhutan's second consecutive entry in like 2 years.
Okay. So I know I mentioned Rachel McAdams as a very shocking surprise here, and I almost went with it.
Actually, I don't know if it'd be that shocking. She got
Okay.
that was a bit. L.A. was a. I mean, it's just a critics win, but still, L.A. was a big win for her.
Okay, let me preface this. It wouldn't be shocking to some, but it would be shocking to a lot of people.
Yeah, probably.
People that don't pay attention are going to be shocked by it. And AJ brought up Taraji. She's got a decent part in The Color Purple, but I don't necessarily see her sliding in on an acting nomination, especially with how great Danielle Brooks is in the movie. So it's not going to be a double. I can't see that happening. I will not go anywhere near Jodie Foster. I refuse, 100%. Don't know how Naiad is. Don't care. Not going to go into it unless I absolutely have to. But it's funny because I had to drop a couple things out of here. And again, AJ and I had the conversation a couple days ago about this, and he didn't tell me the direction he was going. I just kind of put 2 and 2 together. And, it's weird because great minds think alike, friends. AJ's not the only one on that mountain. My supporting actress lineup is Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks for The Color Purple, Sandra Hula for the Zone of Interest, Julianne Moore for May December, and Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers.
I appreciate the validation. I'm also shocked. I kind of thought I was going to look insane.
So here's the thing. To not get ahead of myself, the only thing that I'm not going in on is something I can't go in on, because if I do, then I'll have to admit defeat, and I refuse to do that, as anyone knows. I will not go in on Brian Glazer at this point. That's the only thing I'm not going to.
Jonathan Glazer. You're thinking of Brian Grazer, the producer.
God dang it. Again, I tell you this, I sound great, and I screw it up, and I look like an idiot. But either way, I'm not going in on director. That's the one thing I was not going to do, because I can't, especially with Cooper being in this race now.
Well, you know what sucks? Too many people are saying Hewler now, so it won't happen. We gotta go somewhere else. We gotta go somewhere else for the curve now.
Well, I had the curve, and Rosamund Pike would be a nice little shout at this point to slip in out of nowhere. A lot of people were going there, and they're like, well, Saltburn's going to lose all its possible nominations. In fact, no. It's just, again, if anything misses or if anything gets in, it's not necessarily because something wasn't good enough or something's better. It's just the fact that that's what happened. Because there's going to be so many snubs on Oscar morning. And the other one that I have, and I've had the most faith in this for the longest time, is America Ferrera. And weirdly enough, when I started saying it, it actually started to happen. But then I started seeing more and more love for the Zone of Interest. And I realized it was nowhere to be found in my predictions. And I took a real hard look at everything. And I realized that, with the notable exception of director, Zone of Interest fits pretty well into my Big 8 categories. And then I became comfortable with it. And now I say that, it's probably not going to happen. But I mean, I'm okay with this lineup. I am. I think everything belongs here. Now, Julianne Moore is the only questionable thing for me here, but the weird thing about that is it's because it's the only one of these I haven't seen the Zone of Interest, but I have not seen May December, and most people I know have seen May December. Pretty much everybody on this panel and in the chat have seen May December, except for me, because I'm still waiting on a theatrical run. Come on, get on that. But from what I've heard, I remember back in August predicting May December, like, blindly without even knowing anything about it. So I've had more for a while, and I backpedaled against it, and now I've boosted out Rosamund Pike and put Julianne Moore in that spot. So I'm very comfortable with this lineup at this point. But again, there's that fifth slot. Like with everything this year, it's like it seems like things seem very much set in stone, but those are the years that we have the surprises. Let's say the big front runners miss, and then who swoops in and takes that spot? And I feel like that's the year we're gonna have here.
All right. I have to really look hard at this next category because for some reason I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I don't think I am. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna run with it. Let me know if I forgot something drastic.
Oh no.
Okay. So here's the thing about supporting actor. There's two big reasons I should be walking into this category right now with my tail between my legs.
No.
But I don't want to do that. I'm going to walk into this category with dignity that I made these changes because they were made. They were this sounds so pretentious. How I so meticulously put this together. I would.
Yes.
We're guessing which rich people are going to get a gold trophy. It's fucking stupid.
Watch it be somebody that's homeless now that would like just got their first acting job.
Okay, but here's what happened. Why don't we start with Jeremy Allen White? It breaks my fucking heart. The reason it breaks my okay, so I saw the Iron Claw, and when I saw the Iron Claw, things were really starting to fall into place, or should I say fall out. And I hate saying that because I fucking adore the movie.
Yeah.
I love the movie so much. But like halfway through I was like, Jeremy Allen White's not getting it. And the reason for that, he's so good. The reason Jeremy Allen White is not getting in is because I've been married to this idea since we started.
Yep.
Where I was like, this is a fucking no-brainer. He's a golden child in the industry right now because of The Bear, and the role is so made for awards consideration. But when you watch the movie, he's not near as much of an individual focus as I thought he would be.
Nope.
It's very much an ensemble. If anything, the main supporting player is Holt McCallany.
Oh, for
and
God's sake.
and it's very clear Efron is the lead, and Efron is the main focus. Add on to that, what I was expecting for Jeremy Allen White was for the movie to come out and for the reviews to say, holy shit, you will not believe what Jeremy Allen White has done. That actually happened, but it happened to Efron. Efron got the reviews I thought Jeremy Allen White was getting.
Oh, definitely.
So, like I said, halfway through the movie, I was like, well, shit, I got a major change to make. And the first thought was, wow, that's a slot open in supporting actor that was never there for me because I was so convinced this was going to be a part that completely stole the movie. And yeah, he's great in it, but he is not a central focus at all. So that gave me an open spot. My second open spot came from the fact that we were talking in the Curtis Joyce video about how I wasn't really feeling De Niro much anymore. Now, mind you, De Niro is excellent. Holy fucking shit, De Niro is excellent in Killers of the Flower Moon and very much stands out. But I don't see hype and passion for him the way you see for the other performances in this category. It's almost like he's like I was saying in the other video, he was almost too comfortably here to where he could if people get wrapped up in other performances, he's the one that would quietly get pushed out. And it's like, would people notice if he got pushed out? So it's like, I'm going to go ahead and do the thing where I take De Niro out. So the next thing that happened was to take a look at my Gosling will get snubbed thing I've been on all season. I was like, Barbie's going to underperform. I don't feel Gosling. I'm not feeling Gosling. I think Gosling's going to be the surprise snub. And I felt confident. Like, I could have so easily imagined Gosling being a surprise snub. But when you take out where I had Jeremy Allen White all season, and you take out De Niro, and you don't have Gosling in, you've got Ruffalo, Melton, and a sea of possibilities. And it's like, okay, if it's that open, Gosling's in. There's just no way Gosling would miss. Like, if he was a surprise snub, it'd have to be a last minute pushing out. But it's like, if you've got Melton and Ruffalo, and then whoever else, yeah, Gosling is. It makes sense when you look at it that way that Gosling is there. So that's how I finally got on this fucking Gosling train. So at the end of the day, so if you've done the math, at the end, obviously my lineup is. Oh no, I threw in there's a fifth slot because obviously there's Downey. So the fifth one, I seriously considered Sterling K. Brown. Because American Fiction overperforming has always felt possible. But I didn't go Sterling K. Brown. I've gone back to something that I initially abandoned. So, my supporting actor lineup is Willem Dafoe for Poor Things, Downey, Gosling, Melton, Ruffalo. That's what I got. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do I come out of this with my dignity?
Probably.
Because I was really on the White yes, Gosling no thing all season long. So, yeah, that's what I got now.
My five. The only switch I've made is moving out Dominic Sessa for the holdovers and bringing in Charles Melton for May December, joining De Niro, Downey Jr., Gosling, and Ruffalo.
It feels like it's been going on forever. It's crazy we haven't done a prediction video since Melton took off.
Right. Josie's supporting actor script dictions are Defoe, Downey Jr., Milo Machado Grainer.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Let's go, Josie. Come on.
For
Make that happen,
Anatomy
please.
of the Fall. Charles Melton, Mark Ruffalo, Dominic Sessa, Jeremy Allen White for some reason in like square brackets, and Rami Youssef. So a triple nod there. Parsnip says, speaking of LA critics, Christy Lemire, the critic mentioned earlier that was not that big into Iron Claw, will be the one that presents the awards to Rachel McAdams because it was being discussed in their Patreon. Josie says supporting actor shout-outs for the first-time watches this year: Samuel L. Jackson for Eve's Bayou, Anton Walbrook for Life and Death of Colonel Blimp, Magata Hagiwara for Cure, Clarence Williams for Three Tales from the Hood, or Clarence Williams the third, maybe, I'm not sure. Brian Cox for Trick or Treat, and Dylan Baker for Trick or Treat.
It is.
Parsiple says Christy and Alonso do breakfast all day and are both in the LA Critics group. There was some discussion on how some think that Christy looks like Rachel McAdams. Is that why they did it? I don't know. Josie says Giovanni Ribisi for The Gift would rank up there. His performance is incredible in that. So vulnerable, probably his best performance. Bryce says Saltburns probably would be his BAFTA, depending on how the jury thinks of it. Josie... Josie's lead actor shout-outs for first-time watches. Gambon for The Cook, The Thief, His Wife and Her Lover. Michael Douglas for Wonder Boys. Koji Yashiro Cure for for Cure, sorry. Monty Woolley for The Man Who Came to Dinner. Bry has supporting actor of Sterling K. Brown. God damn it. Down the wrong gullet.
I did take a shot. There you go.
Sterling K. Brown, Robert Downey Jr., Ryan Gosling, Charles Melton, and Mark Ruffalo. But Bry thinks Melton might miss SAG.
Interesting.
Josie also says Graham Greene in Clear Cut is amazing. Parsnips list is De Niro, Downey, Gosling, Melton, and Ruffalo. Josie also says Seymour Cassell and Minion Moskowitz, and Oliver Reed and the Devils. There's a lot there. Lead actress shout-outs for her first-time watches. Joan Leslie for repeat performance. Makiko Asumi for Maborosi. Helen Mirren for Cook the Thief, his wife, and her lover, damn it. Angela Bettis for May. Journey Smollett for Eyes by You. And Gina Rowlands for Mina and Minnie and Moskowitz. That's too far ahead of time. That's also too far ahead of time. Josie says, get Evanescence to perform at the Oscars for Poor Things. But she can't wake up. Save me! Oh, Josie says, my mum even said that Milo stole the show in Anatomy of a Fall. Yes. And Top Hat says Defoe, De Niro, Downey, Gosling, and Ruffalo. I'll get the other script dictions for the lead stuff when Owen goes through it.
So I'll break a little kayfabe here right now myself. The conversation that AJ was discussing previously about Robert De Niro is a conversation we had a while back, and I was on the fence about bumping De Niro. And pretty much we sold ourselves on this being a legitimate possibility. Difference is AJ jumped and I stayed on the side because I feel at this moment there's plenty of other places I could go with this. Like the double like I had originally for Poor Things. But after seeing the movie, would Defoe belong in here? Yeah, for sure. But I just don't, I'm not sure. One of the things, Dominic Sessa would be great in here. I would like that. Milo getting in here would be fantastic, but it'll never happen. That's something I think I can say with certainty will never happen. But I mean, I would love that to happen so greatly. So that's when we fell into the whole love that everybody's giving me December right now. And the fact that I've never had Melton in here. And it felt like it was the time to do it. And with having to bump Jeremy Allen White out, and I can't go in on the Iron Claw at this point, because the only thing I could really go in on the Iron Claw would be is if I could give that fifth slot to Efron, which I really, really want to do. But I've learned a long time ago doing no guts, no glory is a really easy way to lose this competition fast. And I don't want to lose this year because I've already lost enough in 2023. So I don't want to lose the actual Oscar prediction contest. So I'm just going to stick with safe here. I got De Niro for Killers of the Flower Moon. I got Downey for Oppenheimer, Gosling for Barbie, Melton for May December, and Ruffalo for Poor Things. It seems too safe, though. I say this a lot like a broken record, but it's very true. These seem solidified, but they're too safe. But sometimes that's the answer. Sometimes they go safe. Sometimes they go obvious.
I don't think anything is going to be as safe and obvious as Supporting Actor 2009, where I think all 5 nominees were the same across like every award ceremony.
And we know I actually disappeared because it's officially 2024 in the UK.
Well, yeah, I would say I could do this slowly until he gets back, but the trouble is my next 2 categories are not complicated at all because I didn't change them.
Nope, same.
It gets nice and easy for a couple of categories.
Yes.
So, just to refresh everyone's memory, if you've been here before, my actress lineup was Lily Gladstone, Sandra Hüller, Greta Lee, Carey Mulligan, and Emma Stone, and it is still that. So the thing now that's different is Mulligan being significantly more in this conversation than she was the last time we did this.
Oh, yeah.
I was telling, I guess I'll tell a quick anecdote while Ashley's gone. While Blunt was doing her SAG thing and she brought up that Maestro was a movie that she felt gave her faith in cinema again, she specifically singled out Mulligan and said she went as far as to accost her throughout the entire plane ride with her about how amazing she is. And when you look at the movie itself, the reason, I mean, you can tell Cooper's commitment. You can make fun of the interviews and how much he, like, you know, really plays up being the, you know, ultimate filmmaker or whatever. But I feel like just about anybody, and when you watch the movie, you can tell that movie works because of Mulligan. Like Cooper's got the makeup, he's doing the real conducting, he's doing all the stuff, but the movie works because of Mulligan. Especially when she kind of takes over the movie a little bit in the kind of second half there. So that's we were always talking about how the actress race was Gladstone and Emma Stone, and everybody else was just glad to be here. I think Mulligan's changing that.
Yep.
So the fact that she already should have won for Promising Young Woman might play a part in it also.
Tell me about it.
That's just my opinion, but yeah. So that's about as much as I can stall on actress. So that's what that is.
I'll do a little bit in chat real quick. There's a couple of messages. Brian posts, "Happy New Year to you, Ashley. Only 5 hours left." Yeah. Brian says, "Annette Bening, bye bye."
And I mean,
we'll see. Parsonenberger says Lily Gladstone, Emma Stone, Margot Robbie, Carey Mulligan, Greta Lee. And Brian says Lily Gladstone, Sandra Bullock, Greta Lee, Carey Mulligan, and Emma Stone.
So Parsnip put Hewler in for Zone of Interest and not Anatomy of a Fall.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Interesting.
That's very interesting, actually.
Not impossible.
No, I mean, I don't like going next because that's not the order of how we do things. It's on, so I kind of have to.
To keep things rolling, you may have to.
That's fine. Actress is interesting this year because it seems too safe, and there's always surprises, especially when we get to the top of the categories. Like, there's a lot of people that could slip into the actress lineup. I mean, AJ's been trying to sell me pretty much since day one on Margot Robbie getting snubbed here. And I find it interesting that the titular character would be the one that actually does not get a nomination of the movie that becomes a juggernaut. But it's not out of the realm of possibility, and Robbie has been known to miss before. So,
I mean, she's not the title character, but I mean, if you want to look at snubs that are they were insane at the time, and just continue to only get more insane as time goes on, the first person I look at is Amy Adams in Arrival.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because not only is that just insane, but Arrival did so well otherwise.
Oh, yeah.
And Amy Adams was, like, always supposed to be there. And that's what I was talking about at the beginning. Shit like that happens.
Well, it's a thing, though. It's like, it seems like it's very possible it's going to happen again, and it's very likely it's going to happen again, because everybody seems to be going all in on, except for you, but welcome to the train. We've got cookies. Needless to say, the Ryan Gosling train seems to be something that more and more likely he's getting 2 nominations on Oscar morning, one for the song and one for the award. Obviously, I know it's not his song, but he's the one who performs the song, so it still counts.
But it's one nomination.
Right. So he would get a supporting actor nomination, and also being the person that sings the best original song nomination. So he would have his hand in 2 nominations. But the weird thing about Robbie is the fact that more and more I see predictions, and the more and more I see, like, the Fantasia Barinos and the Natalie Portmans, and even though it was scoffed off a minute ago, the Annette Benings, it seems like it wouldn't be a shock for Robbie to miss here, but I'm not necessarily about that yet. And Greta Lee would be the person I would slide in here if I had the opportunity. But
so you don't I think I missed yours. Who do you have in Greta Lee's place?
I have Robbie.
Oh, yeah.
Ruby.
Greta is the only person I can see to slide in here. Since I already gave mine, I might as well just list it out loud. Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Bullock for Anatomy of a Fall, Carrie Mulligan for Maestro, Margot Robbie for Barbie, and Emma Stone for Poor Things. Does not change one bit. There's no reason to change it, at least right now. Real quick before Ashley goes into his, Happy New Year, Ashley.
Yeah, that's why I was away. I was seeing what they were doing in London on the television.
That's fair.
And then just waiting for somebody to get drunk enough to set off the fireworks, like nearby, like outside. So I think that there's something going on.
We're not going long enough for Pyro to start hitting. It's probably going to start hitting about 9 o'clock behind me.
Yeah.
So Gladstone, Willow, Lee, Mulligan, and Stone says top hat. Josie asked 2 questions real quick, just short questions. Asked Ashley's thoughts on Helen Mirren and The Cook, the Thief, his wife, and her lover, and AJ's favorite Gina Rowlands performance.
I mean, arguably that was the film that's... I think that was the same year as Caligula, I think. 79. That's what put her on the map. Admittedly, she got naked in both of them, but whatever.
You
know, and I guess it's good to see her do stuff other than Shakespeare, because I've seen like some of her early Shakespeare stuff. It's sort of similar to how, you know, I might as well mention in here, rest in peace Tom Wilkinson.
Yeah.
He practically did everything TV and theatre wise, and then all of a sudden Full Monty happened. And then it became the running joke of when is this film going to say and Tom Wilkinson? And because he'd always get the and Tom credit. Yeah, she's really good in that. I mean, sort of a pivotal point, really. She is the wife. She's the one that revolves around everything.
And AJ, your favorite Gina Rowlands performance?
I'd say they're boring answers, but I'd say either one on The Influence or Gloria, probably.
Okay. So, speaking of boring answers, Best Actor.
Hang on.
But first, Ashley, what you got?
Speaking of boring answers, it's exactly what Owen said. Gladstone, Huller, Mulligan, Robbie, and Stone for actress for me. I will say that I was contemplating taking Margot Robbie out for Greta Lee.
He wasn't there to hear that conversation. That's the best part. That's exactly what we were just talking about.
I don't, you know, just because how Barbie missed in, admittedly, some of the stuff that you'd expect it to probably make it in costume.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but the fact that it didn't make it in makeup and hair kind of was a surprise. So it'll be interesting to see whether everything, because of course with how many people are in Barbie, it could also be obviously considered an ensemble piece, even though, you know, people are only in it for sort of 2 minutes, if that, in some cases.
My friend is one of them.
But yeah, Greta is on the verge of possibly going in, but you know, the lead actor or actress, one of them has to be a foreign film. So it was nearly technically 2, because Past Lives sort of is, but isn't, but is, but isn't. So that's why Anatomy of a Fall now moves in. I think for the first time, at least in my list. I'm beginning to see why that film is getting the love that it is. So to the lead, did you go through Josie's script predictions?
Oh, I forgot because of the fact that it was...
Because they're further up, yeah. Josie had Gladstone, Huller, Greta Lee, fingers crossed, Alma Poitzy, check that up. That is for Fallen Leaves and Emma Stone. Right. I've got Josie's lead actor script dictions ready, so AJ. Wee.
All right. So something else I've been saying off camera a lot is that something really crazy could happen in an actor. I just don't know what.
Yes.
Whether it be Andrew Scott or the guy from Passages. And there's a lot of really random dudes that could get into like SAG or BAFTA and shake this lineup up. But I don't feel confident enough in that happening, even though I keep thinking it's like something wild is going to happen in actor. I played it safe and I just kept what I had last time, which still feels like a decent lineup, which is Bradley Cooper, Coleman Domingo, Paul Giamatti, Cillian Murphy, and Jeffrey Wright. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Ashley.
My 5 is remember what AJ said earlier on about supporting actor. I have Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Coleman Domingo for Rustin, Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. Yeah, in my last chess move, before I have to before I get checkmated, I kicked out DiCaprio for at least a little bit. It doesn't feel like it's potentially a snub in that respect because there's it's a strong list anyway, but I'm just I feel he's got his flowers. Flower moon, if you will. So yeah, I'm thinking we might have. I think DiCaprio's probably going to move in once I'm more sure about what SAG and the BAFTA long list is doing. By the way, I'm going to mention it here. Something to do with The Great Escaper is making it in the long list for BAFTA. I'm calling it now because we won't be covering it until obviously whenever. So I'm thinking probably it's most likely Thing is best British film, where it might make it in the 15 or whatever it is there. I think out of the acting stuff, the most likely, because I want it to be Michael Caine because it's like the last chance. But I think Glenda is more of a realistic opportunity to make it in long list. I doubt they'll make it to short list when we actually get to that in a few weeks. But I just wanted to mention it there because I wonder whether Great Escaper and whether they might just be a sort of a John Williams-esque sort of nod to Caine. Then again, Michael Caine announced his retirement and John Williams just unretired himself, so who knows? More people stuff. So Josie's lead actor, script dictions. Zac Efron, Christian Friedel, which I'm guessing is for Zone of Interest. Paul Giamatti, Benoit Magimel. I'm guessing that's probably for Taste of Things. Okay. Cillian Murphy, Andrew Scott, Jeffrey Wright, and Koji Yashuko for Perfect Days. Scroll through. Bryce says I didn't know Tom Wilkinson died. That's a shame. More people should know. Ironclaw should have been shortlisted for makeup and hair. I'd also nominate in costumes. Bryce says Cooper, Giamatti, Murphy, Wright, and TOU if SAG or BAFTA goes with him. Parsnip says Cooper, Giamatti, Murphy, Wright, and Domingo. DiCaprio doesn't have a prayer. Especially I read the article how he should have played the cop in Flowers instead of the idiot. Oh. Intriguing. Top Hat says Cooper, DiCaprio, Giamatti, Murphy, and Wright. And Josie has her directing shout-outs for first-time watches. Freakin for his career. Joe Micklin-Silver for her career. Peter Greenaway for The Cook, The Thief, his wife and her lover. And Ken Russell for The Devils. Roll it away.
And Ashley leaves again. Actor hasn't changed. Talked about trying to bump De Niro out a little bit ago, and I ended up signing against it. It does feel very possible that DiCaprio is not getting in, and it feels possible that Killers may underperform. And this might be the calm before Killers kicks into high gear, too. We don't know. So as of this moment, I went with Melton, and I've changed a bunch of things, too. It's not like I'm not down with the whole Coleman Domingo thing. It's just he would probably be my next slot if I end up having to do that, and I might do it next month. It just depends on the circumstances. If I commit to taking DiCaprio out like everyone else seems to have done. But I'm gonna stick with what I've got so far. So Best Actor, Bradley Cooper for Maestro, DiCaprio for Killers of the Flower Moon, Giamatti for The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, and Jeremy Take a Shot, Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. So here's the thing. It's too clean. So that fifth slot seems to be in question. Because everyone is saying Cillian Murphy. And everyone is saying, well, most people are saying Giamatti. I don't see many people not saying Giamatti. Jeffrey Wright seems like he is in it to win it at this point. Like he's solidified at this point. But then again, we don't know. And Cooper's in the next best thing since Slumdog Millionaire, so needless to say, of course, he's got to be in this conversation as well. So DiCaprio missing here wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility, but I don't have it yet. I may be forced to go that route, but right now, I'm okay with what I've got.
I can really see SAG throwing a curveball in this category. It's just a matter of who it is.
Oh,
and the first person my mind keeps going to is Andrew Scott.
Andrew Scott is very possible, and he was one of the ones that was kind of an outlier for me. I was really thinking about it, but that would have mean I would have had to committed to put All of Us Strangers in a screenplay as well. Because I feel like, weirdly enough, this goes hand in hand with another category. It's not like it's just going to be one thing that it gets nominated for.
But yeah, we've had that feeling before, though,
I've been proven
where
wrong.
It's like, oh, because this happened, this should probably happen. I had that live in real time during the 2021 nominations announcement, where The Worst Person in the World got into original screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
I became convinced Renata Rensva was in that fifth slot in actress, because there was a fifth slot in actress.
Yep.
And it was crazy that it was Stewart, who had completely fallen off at the time. So it's the kind of crazy shit that you have to decide if it's going to go one way or the other.
Josie throws out more directing shout-outs for her watches in 2023. Todd Haynes for Poison and Safe. Powell Pressburger for Colonel Blimp. And Rodriguez for The Faculty. And Curtis Hanson for his entire career. Parksenberger brings up the fact that DiCaprio was... we talked about him should have played... King instead in Killers. Paul Schrader said that in an interview, and it was published in a Variety article. I actually saw that as well. Came across
King or White?
Well,
because he was originally supposed to play White, and then they changed it.
So yeah, that's what I'm seeing now. It says should have played the cop, is what it says. So I'm gonna go with be White. By the way, AJ, I'm reading Erasure now, says Josie.
Nice. It's fucking wild.
Very nice. Speaking of wild, let's go to Best Director.
Yeah, I feel like Ashley needs to be here for this discussion, but we gotta roll because this is gonna take me a minute.
Yep.
Because this this category. First of all, thank you, Bradley. Thank you, Bradley Cooper, for making this really fucking hard. So, okay, so a lot of shit got fucked up. That's how I'm gonna preface this.
Yep.
Okay, everybody listening. Okay. Because there's some explaining that I need to do before I say this. So I've been on a thing for a while. Here we go again. All year it's been, oh, these movies will be fine. This movie will underperform.
Mm-hmm.
And my this movie will underperform all season has been Barbie. I'm like, no Gerwig, no Robbie, no Gosling. Obviously the Gosling thing has changed. Obviously, I think they're gonna love Barbie enough that they'll do that stupid thing in screenplay.
Yeah.
Still not on the Robbie thing. However, things have shifted, and like I said, it basically turned into a math problem of how this happened, which once again could be a bad call because a lot of the times on nominations morning the math does not add up. But I just kept making a choice which would cause me to make another choice, and this is what happened. So, yeah, first and foremost, Bradley Cooper fucked this up. So, which I love actually walking in on that.
I'm trying to work out just in I'm just trying to work out in general
okay.
whether he's fucked this up.
Okay, so where do you even? I'm trying to figure out where to even start with this because it's such a clusterfuck. This category.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing is Cooper fucked this up because Cooper has to be here. I feel like Cooper has to be here, based on the hype and the industry love already. Before we've even seen industry nominations, the industry's already losing its fucking mind over Maestro and Cooper specifically, and as far as his direction as well as Mulligan. So I felt the need that I could not do, this isn't going to be a repeat of A Star Is Born. Cooper will be here this time, is what I think. So, with that in mind, that bumps somebody out. So, the idea of who's going to get bumped out is I've had Justine Triet in this whole time. This is a conversation we had in Critics' Choice I was going to wait for this video for, which is I've been really bent on this. Justine Triet is going to be the international director slot that we get every single year. But which international you can take for whatever meaning you want, because last year I would say it was Ruben Östlund, even though the movie is in English still point. And then I had this horrible sinking feeling of, what if I'm convinced Justine Triet is the Ruben Östlund of the year when she's actually the Edward Berger of the year? Where I was completely convinced, as I'm sure many people were, that Edward Berger was going to get in for All Quiet on the Western Front, and he was going to be the international spot that Östlund ultimately got. And I was able to convince myself Triet is Edward Berger and not Östlund. So then I had problems because it's like, okay, if I take Triet out, that's where Cooper is, voila. But then I got on the Jonathan Glazer thing. And it was like, Jonathan Glazer, I think, could be our international spot. So it's like, okay, I will put Jonathan Glazer in place of, oh, I hate to do this. I'm going to have to take Alexander Payne out again. Because it's just working out that I want so badly to keep Payne in, but he just keeps getting bumped out. So it's like, okay, there we go. I've got Cooper, I've got Jonathan Glazer, I've got Nolan, and the others. And it's like, great. And then it's like, now what's wrong with this picture? And it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. I know what's wrong with this picture. In the year of Justine Triet, Celine Song, and Greta Gerwig, are we getting 5 dudes in director? And what absolute cataclysmic, apocalyptic fucking shitstorm would that cause? And so it's like, okay, at first I resigned to the fact that we're getting a shitstorm of a director. That's just what's going to happen. It's going to be 5 dudes and the world is going to explode. But then I thought, I can't see it. It's not just Gerwig, Celine Song, Justine Triet, our female directors getting some token slot. They all would be in easily if there was room. All of them, all 3 of them would be here with ease.
Yeah.
In another year. It's not a token slot thing. And so it's like with the way the academy has shifted, and the social all that shit has shifted. One of them has to be here. And so I was like, well, I've been on the it wouldn't be Gerwig thing because I'm thinking Barbie might underperform a little bit, and it's just like there's so many other choices other than Gerwig that she would just naturally be bumped. It's not like, oh, she doesn't have a chance. She would just be pushed out because that's just how crowded it is. So I thought, okay, Justine Triet or Celine Song. And I'd probably prefer Celine Song very slightly. But I've been very adamant about it being Justine Triet being... If one of these female directors gets in, it would be Justine Triet. Is what I've been on most of the time.
Yep.
But then I thought, things are so crowded. Things are so insane. Things are such a clusterfuck. It's going to be the one with the most hype. It's not going to be a surprise, I'm here slot. It's going to be this person had the hype and the high profile status to get there. And of the 3, that's fucking Gerwig.
Yes.
So, after all that shit...
Here's the gritted teeth moment.
Oh, wait. Oh, my God. By the way, I forgot something. I forgot the biggest part of this.
Oh, no.
If Gerwig's going to go in, somebody has to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, well, the only thing that's going to happen here is a Villeneuve situation.
Mm-hmm.
Or a Nolan in 2010 situation. A big-name director with a big-ass movie that by all means is here in every other facet, and then suddenly, very suddenly misses nominations morning. I pulled Scorsese. I've gone from Barbie will underperform to Kills of the Flower Moon will underperform.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, still not confident because, like I was talking about with the peaks and valleys of award season, there's always the movie that you think is going to do amazing, then you think is going to underperform, and then it ends up doing amazing. It comes back. West Side Story. Spielberg's West Side Story died in the guilds. Came back and got 7 Oscar nominations on Oscar morning, including Spielberg. So, I think Scorsese, as of now, could very much change the next time we do this because we have one more. Scorsese is our big director snub, so that leaves me with Bradley Cooper, Greta Gerwig, Jonathan Glazer, Yorgos Lanthimos, Nolan. I don't fucking know, guys. That's all I got for now.
Oh,
Could
boy.
change. It could absolutely change, but I'm so glad we have one more of these.
One more of the 8, and then we still have to predict all of them, so that's good.
I think our next one's all of them.
Yeah.
It's the end of January.
Yeah, but we're not predicting the top 8 again after this.
Nope.
So, as ever, I'm trying to be the optimist here.
Wait, hold on a second. Say that one more time about predicting the top 8.
This is the last time we're predicting the top 8.
By themselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Then the next one is the top 8 plus everything else.
The whole
It'll be all the
shit.
categories after the guilds are out.
Yeah.
Just
Just to make that clear.
The whole shit.
Sure.
So I'm trying to be the optimist, and also the quote unquote, pigeonhole this for a woman role. So, there's one change, which you'll get straight from the off, because my first is Greta Gerwig for Barbie. I also have Yorgos Lanthimos for Pure Things, Nolan for Oppenheimer, Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon, and, teasing from earlier, Justine Triet for Anatomy of a Fall. I think there's a greater chance this year to actually have, I think, 2 women. Greta's in there because of the monolith that Barbie was. But I think Triet is in there on, like, efforts and plaudits to some extent. That's how I'm going at the minute, at least. I'm trying to see where have we got in terms of the other predictions.
722 Top Hat's message. Start with that, and then go from there.
What, the Borat one?
That hasn't been mentioned yet.
No. Never forget the first movie announced to be nominated in 2021 was Borat, subsequent movie film delivery of prodigious bribe to American regime for make benefit once glorious station in Kazakhstan.
Gabriel wrote every word in there. I appreciate this.
Parsnips list is Nolan, Scorsese, Gerwig, Glazer, and Payne. Bry has Scorsese, Nolan, Song, Lanthimos, and Glazer. I have Greta being this year's Villeneuve. Parsnip says the upset could be Lanthimos. Bry says
that would be nuts. That would be wild.
Bry says, like Doom, Barbie would get a double-digit nominations but miss director. Parsnip says Cooper snubbed. Glazer is the international. Josie says, imagine if Nolan is the Villeneuve of the season.
Oh boy,
that would. I know how possible it is because it's happened to him before.
Yeah.
And I dread the thought. I'm just trying to not think about that. That could be a possibility.
Top Hat says Gerwig, Glazer, Lanthimos, Nolan, and Scorsese. Parsnip says, I would laugh, Josie, if Nolan, missed out. It'd cause such anger, and I'd love it. Maybe he'd go to another studio because Universal screwed up as well. Bryce says, based on the shortlist, I'm wondering if J.A. Bayona could get a director nod for Society of the Snow.
It's not impossible.
Nothing's impossible at this point.
It'd be hilarious if Gerwig missed, but both Trier and Song got in. And Josie goes, ha 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 ha, bitch.
That would actually be ideal for me.
Remember how I thought Irishman was going to underperform, says Bry, and then it got double-digit nominations, so that's why I still have Scorsese in. I'll most likely have to put Gerwig and Cooper in by final predictions. Josie says, tonight I'm going to watch John Woo's Better Tomorrow, because what better way to end 2023 than a Better Tomorrow? No, day after tomorrow. With Brian Cox. Yes.
No. God, no. God, no. Continue.
Parsnips says Anatomy of a Fool's honestly lost the momentum. It's all about zone of interest now.
I still see it popping up everywhere.
We'll see. Well, it's like I was just saying also, it's often been proven that it doesn't matter even if you lose momentum this late because things always come back around.
Sure.
I can't tell the difference between fireworks and gunfire. I don't know what just happened out back, but it was one of them.
Both.
One is covering up the other.
Top Hat says an actor hasn't been nominated for both acting and directing since Branagh. I'm guessing that's for Henry V, probably, or...
Yes.
I don't have strong faith in the Cooper.
I understand how long that's been, but Cooper has been building himself up as Hollywood's golden boy for like 5 years. So
He's busy. Uh, and Bry says, I think DGA is going to be Gerwig, Scorsese, Cooper, Nolan, and Lanthimos. One of them wouldn't be on the Oscar list, and Glazer would probably be it. Bry saying, I'm going to change my director lineup tomorrow. All this discussion
Checks out.
causing so much
I'm
confusion.
just excited. Regardless of who it is, I'm really excited for whoever's there for the Directors Guild conversation they have. That's like a 3-hour interview with the DGA nominees. I fucking love those videos.
All right. So I've been pretty sold on Alexander Payne for a while now. And then AJ told me about the juggernaut that is Maestro. And I was like, well, I have to say goodbye. So it went all serious, man, that quickly. You know. The thing about it is there's so many great directed movies this year that are going to get snubbed. Not because they don't deserve it, but it's because there's too much. And that's the theme of this year's ceremony at this present time. And I have a feeling it's going to continue all the way through the next several months. There's going to be a lot of movies, a lot of performances, a lot of people that are just going to miss, not because they deserve to miss, but because it's just what happens. And director is definitely a category that this happens in, and I can see this happening again. I've been very committed to Greta. Obviously, I'm super biased here, but I feel I can't say a certainty, but I feel it's looking pretty good. I think Lanthimos is actually more of a challenger to win at this point than people thought in the beginning, because people seem to really love Poor Things, and they should, because it's fantastic. Nolan's always been here, and I don't see a reason why that's going to change. Scorsese missing here would not shock me at this point. So yeah, this is not a hate fest on Killers of the Flower Moon. I know AJ loves it just as much as I do, but at this point, there's got to be a big budget snub here. So, Bradley Cooper, welcome to the director conversation. You have Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Greta Gerwig for Barbie, Lanthimos for Poor Things, Nolan for Oppenheimer, and Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon. I can't get on this Glazer train yet. I have a feeling I may end up forcing myself to do it, but I mean, I have to bump someone out here. And yeah, just like with AJ, I think Scorsese is the only person I would be on the chopping block here. Because justifiably, I can't bump out Nolan. For my pride, I'm not bumping out Greta. And apparently, Cooper's here to contend for the win, and Lanthimos seems like they belong here. So yeah, the only thing I can do is bump Scorsese out if I end up having to go on the zone of interest train and go completely all in on it.
I just looked up, in case you didn't realize that Bradley Cooper is the golden boy. He's got a Will Arnett script that he's directing that's in the works, and then he's gonna be Steve McQueen.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's gonna be Frank Bullitt in a Steven Spielberg picture. Yep, that resume's getting bigger.
What? That sounds like one of those things you hear about, but it never actually happens.
I mean, it is in pre-production, but and it's from the scriptwriter of Maestro and Spotlight, so
that's an interesting choice.
And The Post and First Man, so a lot of collaborations with Spielberg and Cooper in the past. Or Cooper affiliated stuff.
All right. Best picture.
After all the fucking insanity we've gone through, this one's easy. I made one obvious change. I have American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest.
Ashley.
I made two changes. Or is that No, 2 changes because I still had that in the last time. So I have Anatomy of a Fiction. Sorry, an American Fiction. I'm merging
Wow, I
the
want
two.
to see that movie. Let's
American
go.
Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, Color Purple, Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, and Poor Things. So yeah, if your film's got anything with a Q and beyond, get out of here.
To make it sound potentially more exciting to students, I want to forever change the phrase book report to Anatomy of a Fiction.
Good God. Chat.
Parsnip has Oppenheimer, Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Poor Things, The Holdovers, American Fiction, Maestro, Past Lives, Zone of Interest, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Bry has American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and Zone of Interest.
So it's funny you mention Spider-Verse, Parsnip Burger. That's another thing that could honestly be in the adapted lineup that we're not thinking of too. Especially if it gets enough love.
Before we go, I need to mention something about Anatomy of a Fall I just love that I forgot to mention when we were actually talking about it a few videos ago. That song that's playing at the beginning that he uses to antagonize her.
Yeah.
I don't know about anybody else in their experience watching it, but when I was watching it and hearing that, I was thinking, I know what that sounds like. That's pretty funny. And then when they confirmed in court that that's actually what the song was, I just want to say that's an amazing touch. And I would have never suspected that song could be used so effectively in a movie like Anatomy of a Fall, but it was. So props to Justine Triet, especially for that.
That's fair.
She deserves that director slot for that.
I'm not against her getting it. I really dug the movie, so.
Are we done here?
Brian says, one thing to mention on the Discord server, I posted a picture of a custom theater letterboard with the channel name on it. That's cool. I'll check that out later. I've been working all day, so I didn't even know that was a thing. I'll look into that.
I have no fucking idea how Discord works, by the way. I know how to do this. I know how to do this.
That's all that matters. As long as calls can happen and we can do the stream, we're sorted.
It's like I'll be doing something and something will pop up and then it'll immediately go away and I was like, I have no idea where that went. That was or where it went.
Ashley, knock out the last 3 messages in chat. I'll give mine and then we'll take it home.
Yeah, Josie has, I guess she's catching up. Director for her is Glazer, Tran An Hung, Aki Kaurismäki, Yorgos Lanthimos, Hayao Miyazaki, Christopher Nolan, Martin Scorsese, Celine Song, and Justine Triet. Top Hat's picture nominations are American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Thing, and The Zone of Interest. And Josie has American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, The Boy and the Heron, Fallen Leaves, Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and Zone of Interest. And Josie wishes us all a Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
But
Josie.
first.
And as always, I get to take it home. Best Picture. I made 2 changes, both of which I didn't want to make, but I had to. So my lineup for Best Picture is American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, The Zone of Interest. Oh yeah, Brian turns 24 at 12:23 a.m. Interesting.
Exactamundo.
Nice. Happy early birthday, Brian. And Happy New Year as well. Okay. That's the show. So, quick programming note, because we didn't realize how quick the actual award ceremony would actually sneak up on us. There was a tentative plan to do something on January 1st, but we got to predict the Globes tomorrow. So join us tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Talk the Golden Globes. And honestly, other than that, I'm not guaranteeing anything. I won't guarantee anything, but there is a slight possibility that may not be the last time you see us this week. So Tuesday may or may not happen. It has not been decided yet. So stay tuned for more information if there's going to be a QA show on Tuesday. If not, then you'll have one very soon.
Tomorrow will be the tasty one because it's where the only time of the season that AJ has to go in blind, and then what I say influences Critics' Choice and Screen Actors Guild. Righty who? There'll be a couple of videos from me as extra as well. The New Year's Eve run of Isaac will be going up in a little bit. The New Year's Day run will obviously go up tomorrow when their stuff resets. I think I'm lining it up mainly because I'm being told, can we get it out the house, please? The fizzy drink marathon, of which I am, expect to hear a lot of burps because I'm not going to be able to control it.
Let's go.
Will be occurring as I try and I'm gonna have to clear out all the rubbish from under here because that's where the room is. Thank God the I'm not going to be able to drink through that many in time for the dustbin collection on Tuesday, so we'll stagger it. But yeah, there'll be other gaming stuff as well while I get it sorted. AJ's movie reviews will be back very soon. I'm trying to think.
Hopefully more consistently throughout 2024 is the plan.
Yep.
I'm trying to think what the first big film of the year is, because like over here it's just everything that we should be already having.
I think it's Night Swim.
Yeah, that's next week.
Oh yeah, the Bloom House. Yeah.
It looks interesting.
Owen has a few sip and snacks and voices of content as well.
I'm gonna take the final outro for the show to as always. But I mean, yeah. Go ahead, Ashley.
You can find myself on Twitter /X, whatever one it Maybe it will be called, Agent Orange next week. I don't know. At Ash is my name UK. Owen can be found at Sir Owen Disney, and there's also the Popcast Network account as well. AJ cannot be found on social media. And just like Keith Richards, wishes this was over.
That's a good one. Let's stick with that one.
So, Ashley has done a great job of being your host for 2023. It is no surprise to anyone that this has kind of been an up and down year, to say the least, but we're very thankful and fortunate that everyone has stuck around and enjoyed all of our content here, from watching Ashley's gaming reviews kind of finally get an audience, which is awesome, to AJ's basically 3 months straight of taking over this channel, to me being able to finally see voices on July 4th. There's been a lot of things, and a lot of things are still to come. So stay tuned for more in 2024. It's good. I want to thank everyone for joining us this year. Once again, I wish everyone a Happy New Year. Enjoy the rest of your 2023 if you're still in it, and if not, enjoy your 2024. In the meantime, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And until next year, boys and girls, 'Tis the season of love, and that's all we got to say about that.